Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's episode where, I'm going to say it, I'm going to declare it, we're in a title race. We are in a race for the title. I've got the table off the screen right now so you can't see it, because I want to talk you through it as we get to it as well. But things are looking very good for us right now as we're about to reach the halfway part of the season as we take on Liverpool and Brentford. So, since you guys were here for the big wins against Wolves and against Everton, which were absolutely fantastic, we've gone on a winning run with a couple of draws in there as well, but an unbeaten run, that's what I'm looking for, an unbeaten run. We started off with a 4-2 victory over Chelsea, which was a really handy result for us, Panayotov with 2 goals in that game. We then had a rather disappointing 1-1 draw away from home to Newcastle, didn't play particularly well in that game, but bounced back with 3 wins in a row. We started off with West Ham United, helped along by an own goal there, otherwise that could have been another draw in that game, because West Ham did play pretty well, to be fair. It was pretty close in terms of the match stats. But we then went on to beat the Champions League holders Arsenal 5-2. And just before this, actually, they offered me a job interview at their place. They're not doing very well this season, Arsenal, and wanted me to come in. Of course, I had to say no to it, but the reigning Champions League holders are not doing so well. We beat them 5-2, a really solid result there with Frank Nice getting a brace. We then just about beat Aston Villa 2-1, a very close game away from home. We came away with the 3 points, which was quite nice. Before last time out, a disappointing 1-1 draw with Leeds United. So we've not lost. We've had some iffy games in there, like the Newcastle and Leeds United games, not playing our best. And to be fair, we were very lucky to beat Villa and West Ham. So it kind of feels like, yes, we're a good team. We can play well. But we're getting away with draws and wins when in previous seasons, we would have lost the games that we drew and drawn the games that we won in this situation. So I feel like we are just creating our own luck a bit this season. And as a result, I genuinely think we are in a title fight right now. 36 points we're on after 17 games. Man United and Liverpool both ahead of us on 37 points. Beat Liverpool today, and it is a really interesting dynamic as we head into the second half of the season. Leicester only 5 points behind us. Cardiff is still right up there in the chase for European Champions League football. Everton, Palace are up there as well. But we are being helped along massively this season. So if we go back to last season, Man City, Arsenal, Everton and Chelsea were the top 4. This season, Everton are 6th to be fair, but Chelsea 8th, Arsenal 9th and Man City down in 15th, having a terrible time. Man City won the Premier League last season. They have an insane team, including players, if you look at key players, like Erling Haaland, for example. Like, he is absolutely superb, but only scoring 8 goals this season. Somehow, he's just not scoring. So we are being helped massively by the fact that the teams who were in the top 4 last season have dropped off massively. And to be fair, actually, Liverpool and Man United, who finished way down the pecking order last season, have actually picked themselves up a bit, haven't they? And they currently occupy the top 2 spots. So really, things are looking good. I mean, even Brighton and Newcastle, who are up there for Champions League and European football, I mean, they are right down towards this mid-table position. So we are just being helped out, really, massively. I think it's a very lucky season, and I've never seen so much change in a season as well. I mean, the whole top 4 from last season, the whole top 7 from last season, only one of them are still in the top 4 this season. It's mad. So today we take on Liverpool in what is going to be a huge game. Win it, and we go ahead of Liverpool by 2 points, and the title fight is really on. Lose it, and we are 4 points behind, which is not ideal. A draw would be a pretty fair result and a decent result for us, I think. However, we do have a couple of tired players because the fixtures have been very congested recently. So actually players such as Panayotov and Daniel Patrick, Frank Nice, all pretty tired. I'm going to rest them for a little bit in today's game. We're going to try and play a fully fit team, because I feel like Liverpool will probably they played midweek too. I feel like they will play a full strength team, but they'll be tired. And I think our not so tired faces will do a good job. So Mantle starts in goal with Suntesic, Felipe, Saliba and Neto in the back line. So pretty familiar actually. Tape comes in for a rare start. He's been getting more and more game time, to be fair, and he has been improving and does look like a decent player. Obviously, not quite at the level of Lavia just yet, but Lavia, if we can find him on the bench, wherever he is on the bench. No, he's suspended, sorry, for this game. Lavia is suspended, so that's why he's not in the team. Literally, we have to play Tape instead. The midfield of Alparslan, Batsner and Sousa is going to be hopefully good enough today. I know it's a little bit of a makeshift midfield 3 to an extent, but hopefully they'll have the business done for us today, with Randy Ramheimer and Pereira leading the line for us. Also, 14 goals in 15 games for Pereira this season, proving why he won European Golden Boy last year. Hopefully, I don't think he can win it again this year, actually, but I think Paniotov is in with a shout of winning European Golden Boy. Now, I will say that following this Liverpool game, we have, I think, 2 weeks off, which is quite nice, or a week off. I can't remember. We've got a bit of time off, 10 days or so, which is quite nice. So in that time, I do want to talk about a few contracts and hopefully players joining the club in January. So stay tuned for that, of course. And if you're looking forward to it, make sure you drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe if you're new around here and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. As this highlight from kickoff hopefully is going to go in our favour as Neto brings the ball forward into Vasco Sousa, puts the ball towards Randy Ramheimer, collected by the Liverpool defence as they clear it out, but not very far. Tape on the ball into Vasco. Vasco across to Alparslan, into Randy. Randy's shot just wide of the mark, and that could have been the perfect start to the game. Man United are playing Chelsea away from home, I will add as well, but Chelsea and Arsenal actually have recovered. They were sitting, I think last episode, more in the sort of 12th, 13th spot as Vasco Sousa picks up an injury. Right, well, we're going to have to bring some tired faces on instead. And actually, Yilmaz Turk is also quite tired. Must have picked up a knock of some sort. Time to bring Daniel Patrick on that right-hand side of the centre midfield then. That's something that we might do. And I think probably in the second half, we'll end up bringing Paniotov on too. That would seem sensible to me. In the meantime, we have got the ball on the edge of the area. Batsner shoots, and Batsner, out of absolutely nowhere, scores a goal. Does not get many opportunities now, particularly because of his injuries. His contract's expiring, that's one contract to talk about, but also he's just not as good as other players. But when he does get his chance, he does put them away pretty nicely. First goal of the season for him, just inside the area, beating the keeper. 20 minutes in, we are 1-0 up with our, well, first shot on target. You love to see it. Maybe we are doing Liverpool a little bit dirty right now based on the match stats, but it is very close. They've not had a single shot on target, to be fair, so we can't be too upset or disappointed. What am I talking about? We're not FMing them, basically. I don't know what I was trying to say. The word couldn't quite come out my mouth properly there, but I've said a sentence of some sorts, and hopefully Daniel Patrick can find Alparslan, who can't get his shot in the back of the net. But a very good 45 there. We're 1-0 up, and with it, I think that puts us top of the table as things stand. And yeah, look, there we are. Top of the table as things stand, almost at the halfway point of the season. After Brentford, we will be halfway through the season. I mean, if we do what we've done in the first half of the season again in the second half of the season, like, we should be winning that title. I mean, we're in a fight. If we don't get Champions League football at a minimum now, I will be upset. I think a couple episodes ago I said any sort of European football is what I want, but right now I'm kind of in the mindset that Randy Ramheimer should be scoring those opportunities, but also that, look at the table. This is the perfect opportunity for us to do something incredible a few seasons earlier than we would have thought it was possible. And yet, I mean, I can't think about it too much because things generally start to go a bit badly in January. It just always seems to be a thing where you have a bit of iffy form in January. Hopefully, we won't have any of that, but I can't promise that we won't. With 20 minutes or so to go in this game, though, things could also still go badly for us in this one. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Right on cue. Right on cue. Okay, well, with 15 or so minutes to go, we will definitely make some changes. Potentially left this a little bit late, actually, but we'll bring Paniotov on the left-hand side of the midfield three. Saliba on a yellow card, also quite tired. Don't want him getting sent off or anything like that. So we'll bring Hector Garcia on just to keep things fresh at the back. And hopefully, with 15 or so minutes to go, we can just sneak a winner in there. Looking at the match stats, we probably actually deserve the win here, I would say. We've been better than Liverpool. We've obviously recovered and played a lot better since those opening few games of a season where we ended up losing to Man United and Cardiff quite heavily. We seem to have put those mistakes behind us. And right now, I know it's a draw against Liverpool. I think that's a very good result given how good they are this season. I think United got a last-minute winner in their game, 89th minute winner for Rashford there. That puts them 3 points clear of us at the top, but we're in that fight. We're in that fight. Vasco Sousa out for 3 to 4 weeks, which is not ideal, but, I mean, he's not our first choice centre mid, so for me it's fine. 11 days off until the Brentford game, so time to rest and recuperate, but also time, of course, for us to start losing games. we've got to keep switched on. We've got to keep switched on. Now, I want to talk about contracts because there's 3 players with contracts expiring that I quite care about, and that is Saliba, Batsner, and Suntesic. Now, Suntesic for me can leave the club, but I'd rather him leave for money. He's valued at £40 million right now. So I think he does get a new contract for us to sell him, hopefully maybe in summer or something like that. So if we go to offer him a contract, he's currently on, how much is he on right now? If I can click back on to Suntesic, he's on 20 grand a week right now. It's going to depend massively. He wants to be an important player, which is not great. Squad player is what you're going to have to be. And, I mean, he won't like any of it, I don't think. It's important player or nothing, says Suntesic. What about regular starter? He's not been talking about that. Okay, well, that's very telling. Very telling indeed. Is he valued at 40 million, or is that just we've got a transfer? No, oh, hang on. If I get rid of the unspecified 40 million pound thing and confirm that, 15 to 21, but that's with 6 months on his contract still. Imagine if he had like 2 or 3 years on it. I do think we try and get him a new contract, but we're going to have to wait 3 weeks for that to happen. And in the meantime, come January, foreign clubs might be able to tempt him away. We then get on to Saliba and we get on to Batsner. Both big earners, both important players. I mean, Batsner we just spoke about. He doesn't get many chances. He does get injured frequently. And well, when he does get his chances, he does play well. 8 appearances, but 6 assists this season. Personally, we got him on a free. I mean, if we gave him a new contract, right, he'd be here for another few years where he wouldn't play all that much on more money than £67,000 a week. I mean, if we just looked at that £67,000 a week, for example, as a squad player, he'd want 59. Oh, okay, it's not quite as bad as I thought on a 3-year deal. I think it's more sensible to let him go, though. I think it's more sensible to let Batsner go, if I'm honest with you. Saliba's the interesting one because he is the oldest, most experienced player in that back line. He's solid. We bought him for 15 million as well from Trabzonspor. It would feel like a waste to just let him go. Again, if we offered a new contract to him, but made him a squad player and got rid of the winning the cup thing, again, he's a player that he just wants to be an important player. I think going forward, we need someone better than Saliba. We really do need to improve our centre-backs, well, the second centre-back after Felipe significantly. So actually, it turns out we're not going to offer contracts to any of these players right now. Definitely Batsner leaving. Saliba, I would likely say leaving. I'd like to get some Suntesic in on a new contract. Mostly because he's so young and valuable. That's the main thing for me. But this could be the final 6 months for these two lads. Also, speaking about ins, I've been looking at players quite heavily, I must say, over the past few months or so in game, I should say, for high potential players to bring in for the future. We've got £48 million to spend. Let's try and get that money spent and see what we can do bringing it in. Now, a goalkeeper would be a big player to bring in, and there's 3 that I've sort of got highlighted here. The issue is they probably won't come in this January because they are so expensive. And if I'm honest with you, I think it's this guy that I want to bring in the most, Czech Kone. However, I'm not sure I can bring myself to pay 34 to 42 million pounds when Bayer Leverkusen just got him for 84,000. I don't think I can quite bring myself to do it, if I'm honest with you. So it might not be him. Graham Griffiths is a pretty decent keeper as well, but I think only like League One current ability right now. It doesn't actually stay on here, to be fair, but yeah, that would be a difficult one. The goalkeeper from Barcelona, though, could be an option. Both these keepers are from the Ivory Coast, actually, so that's quite interesting. If we get both of them, that would be great. He's the cheapest one too, but not likely until, I would say, next season. I also really want to bring Saul Martinez in as well, a 20-year-old wonder kid from Inter Milan. As a CDM, he'd come straight in to replace Lavia, I would imagine, and we could probably end up selling Lavia, I think, and then keep Sal Martinez and Tate, what's he called? I can't remember his name. Tape, not Tate. Thinking potatoes. No, of course, he'd probably come in to be the first choicer. But then we've got other players down here who are a lot cheaper, I must say, with decent potentials and fairly cheap, I must say. Like, we're looking at less than £5 million for a lot of these players. A few of them towards the £10, £15 million mark as well. So I won't go too in-depth into all of these guys right now. There's a few strikers on here that we don't really need as well, but I see the potential. I see how good they are. I see other clubs are interested, like Man Cities and Liverpool's and stuff like that. It makes me want to sign them. So there is that part of it as well. A bit of FOMO, I suppose, in some of it. But I think because next episode will probably come back towards the end of the transfer window, or maybe even the start of February, I'd like to think we can bring in 3, 4, 5 of these players over January for the future. And then that will get rid of our transfer budget for this season, and hopefully next season, with hopefully Champions League football, we're going to have like £100 million to spend on some like big first team players, like a new goalkeeper, a new centre back. Weirdly, it's Boxing Day. If you recall last season, we played our Carabao Cup quarter-final on Boxing Day, which seemed very strange. And it's Boxing Day right now. We've not got a league game, but the Carabao Cup games are going on. So whether something changes in the game for like winter breaks and it's over the Christmas period, I don't quite know. But it seems bizarre that all the Boxing Day fixtures are cup games. In the Carabao Cup too. Oh, out of nowhere as well, clubs are making bids for Nick Batsner, when they could get him on a free in literally like 2 or 3 days' time. I'll reject the one from Ajax because it means we're paying £5,000 a week for his wages. Although if this is to sell him in January, actually it's not too bad, is it? Because it's only for like half a season, if that. So I might just accept. No, I'll reject the one from Ajax. I'll accept the ones from the other clubs though, just to get some money. It means we'd lose him now, but we'd lose him now for 5-6 million or so, as opposed to free at the end of the season. I don't mind that too much, especially now he's out for 8 days with blisters. Apparently, he's an injury magnet, and if he could get that sorted before like the 2nd of January when the transfer window opens, that would be delightful. Anyway, Brentford coming up right now. They're 16th in the table, so I'd like to think it's going to be a routine win for us, but it probably will end up being a win for Brentford. Paniotov, though, has just won the FIFA Best Under-21 Men's Player Award, which is fantastic. Won last season by Pedro Pereira. So this is very good for us. It shows we're going in the right direction with the youth in the team. Sadly, he didn't quite win the European Golden Boy. It's won by Saul Martinez, who's literally the player that I want to sign. How much do they want for him? Ask agent about availability. 47 to 59 million. We could afford it. But do I want to splash all of that cash right now? Kind of. My plan was to maybe go for him in, potentially next season if we had money left over after a keeper and a centre-back. But now he's won European Golden Boy. Like, other clubs are going to want him, aren't they? Which is difficult for us. Anyway, as for this team, Batster and Sousa cannot play, so Daniel Patrick and Paniotov come back into the team, and of course it also means that Lavia is back onto the pitch too. I think we'll also bring Nice back on, and we might bring Ryan Nuri back on, and that's pretty much the full strength team that we've got, so let's submit it, and let's go to the game. So a nice quick 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 win here for us today would be fantastic. Let's get this game won and let's get ourselves in that title battle. Although Leicester slowly catching up to us. They're on 35 points right now. If they end up beating Brighton and we slip up today and the other teams above us slip up, then Leicester also in that fight. But it's nice to be in a title fight. It seems like a long time since we were looking to win like the Championship or League One, something like that. It feels like a long time since we've been in a fight of some sort, as Paniotov shot just wide of the mark. I guess the fight for European football in the past few seasons has been pretty cool too, but we missed out on it, didn't we, because we were just on goal difference. But to be in an actual title fight, well, that is something completely different. As the ball is being brought out from the back here. The ball up to Nice is good and won in the air by Nice, but the flick on not quite good enough to reach Pereira, sadly, as the ball is then cleared out from the back as Alparslan gets the ball into Paniotov, into Pereira, into the area. Can he cross it? He does. And it's cleared. It wasn't the greatest of crosses in the world, but very difficult position for him to get that ball into the middle. Saliba, in the meantime, looks to bring it backwards, not forwards, backwards to Mantle, who then brings it forwards out the left-hand side to Nuri, into Alparslan, who finds the ball to Pereira, who Can't score. Now, if that had gone in, that would have been an absolutely superb goal, like literally incredible. But we might have another bite of a cherry right now as Ait Nuri brings the ball into Paniotov, playing pretty deep actually, the deepest of the centre midfield three right now, considering he's the centre mid on attack. You'd think he'd be a little further forward, although Mazala's, I guess, are quite advanced. They're all pretty advanced either way, and it works out almost nicely for us as the ball this time once again saved by Brentford's keeper. And so as this first half comes to its conclusion, Man United are winning, Liverpool are drawing, Leicester are winning, we're drawing. So we're dropping points to title rivals right now, and it really does actually bring Leicester right into this battle as well. Suddenly they're part of this four-way title battle as Brentford look to bring the ball forward. Can we get a challenge in there? Not quite, as Bjorken gets the ball out wide. Luis Felipe clears, but only as far as Brentford players as they give possession away to us. Now, Daniel Patrick hoofed it up to Pereira. Third time of asking for Pereira. Third time failing to score. I mean, if he actually finished, half the chances that he misses, as well as scoring the ones that he does, he'd be on 30, 40, maybe even 50 goals a season easily. Like, he is so solid. He just needs to score a few more goals in those sort of situations because so many balls get over the top to him like that. He just can't always finish them as the clearance from the cross is not great, I must say. And Ait Nuri with a chance to get it into Paniotov, into the box as Nice somehow beats the keeper to it and scores his 10th of the season. A bit of a comedy of errors there, particularly from the Brentford keeper. I don't quite know what he's done there. We'll watch this again on the replay, but this should not have gone in the back of a net, really. The slow reactions from no one reacts at all. And then the keeper just doesn't do much. It's a silly goal for us to score, a silly goal for them to concede, but I'm not going to complain. We will take the goal and hopefully the 3 points that comes with it as the ball doesn't go in the back of a net off the post there from Luis Felipe's header. I think as well, we might take Pereira off in a moment's time. He's not played brilliantly today, and I think Ricardo Pepi deserves a bit of a chance out there as well. A player who's not scored too many goals so far for us this season, but hasn't really been given all of the opportunities. Brentford, though, look to try and get themselves back in this game with the ball across, which has been cut out nicely. And Saliba, if we can just get this cleared nicely and up to our strikers, a second goal would really do my nerves the world of good. Should cement the 3 points as well, and should be better than that. That was not a great ball forward as Brentford looked. And this is why I'm nervous. A second goal, I wouldn't feel so nervous when Brentford come on the attack. But if we can get a second right now, I'd feel a lot more comfortable for the rest of this game. And it's been scored by Nice. You love to see it. Lavia shot off the crossbar. Nice follows it up. Great goal. Also, very aware we've got Man City in a few days' time, so we will take Pereira off for Pepe. We will take Ait Nuri off for Suntesic, and I think we might make a change in the middle too. Patrick looking quite tired. Let's bring Aries Kamara on. But 2 goals to the good. Liverpool losing 2-0 to Aston Villa. We are leapfrogging these guys in the table. We're still 3 points off Man United, but Leicester 3 points behind us. They're 6 points behind United. A long way to go this season. Things could change. Things could change. But as the clock ticks down, you love to see it. The camera's about to run out of battery, which is perfect timing. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode at the start of the February month, I would imagine. I'll let you guys know. But thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. See, perfect time with the camera running out of battery there. Perfect timing.